Back in line, you dog! On your feet! Get them going!
Welcome back. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Whatever the case may be, welcome to Cross Examinations Live. Today we're reconstructing some biblical history. Mike being 4 minutes late is going to be the death of you one of these days. Who? What? What are you talking about? Hello, my fellow non-archaeologically believers. Archaeologically? Did I just make up a word? I did. I believe wholeheartedly in archaeology. What are you talking about? How dare you, King Bob? What's up, Tina, Justin, King Bob, Amy? I got a tickle in my nose. So, slight irritation today. How's everybody's weekend? Hope you are all good. I don't want to just jump in and make it all about me, but it is my show, so there. So you guys know I've been waiting for monetization on this channel. Well, what is on my because I blew my nose. I have tissue paper. And I had to get to the 3,000 hour mark. And like on Friday, I was like, oh man, I'm like right here. I'm so close to the 3,000 hour mark. It doesn't even register anymore that there's space between what I've got and the 3,000. The bar is green all the way across. Awesome, right? Like all this time, they don't let me use any of my live actual streaming hours. So it's all just hours of people watching after the live stream, which doesn't happen often enough to click up very quickly. Over the weekend, I got to 3,017 hours. You know how I know it's at 3,017 and not just 3,000 plus whatever? Because for some reason, now they want 4,000 hours. I'm never going to get this channel monetized, and that's fine. But that just seems a little bit unfair to me. Do you want to see it? I can bring it up. I'm a little bit like, okay, well, maybe God doesn't want me to be a full-time apologetics YouTuber. That's fine. Shifting the goalpost right after I get to it. My YouTube channel is never getting monetized and I'm just accepting it. Yeah, me too. Stupid YouTube, greedy YouTube is more like it. Greedy, they would make money. If they monetized me, they would make money off me. They're not making any money off me now because I'm not monetized. I mean, actually, you know what? You're right, because they'll probably still show ads without me being monetized, so they'll keep all that money. You're right. Although they're not making a pittance off of me because I only got... And why am I draining all of a sudden? It's called The Revealing. What? What's The Revealing? What are you talking about? Oh, your YouTube channel. Wait, when did Bob ask? Did Bob ask? Hey, Larry. Did I? Is there anybody I didn't say hi to? I don't see ads. Okay, so there you go. Oh, music. All right. I don't think YouTube cares about any channels unless they're busting over the 100,000 subscribers. No. It doesn't matter anymore. How many subscribers you have no longer matters. YouTube has changed their algorithms to kind of screw bigger channels, actually. Smaller channels, if they're producing, they're actually, I think, giving more referrals. I don't know how you say it. They're boosting smaller channels than bigger channels, but not for like YouTube, not for live streams, for content. And they're what do you call it? They're boosting AI related content. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like Shad has 1.4, 1.5 million subscribers, and YouTube's new algorithm has just killed his boosts. They've killed his. See, what happens is a YouTube, the algorithm used to be that YouTube, if they recognize what your channel does, right, they will first of all they'll let your freaking subscribers know. Well, sometimes they don't even do that now. But they will find your niche and they will boost to a portion of your particular niche. And if it gets views, if it gets interest and views from that niche, to like you get 15% of the people that see it click on it, then they'll know that it's a good video, and they will then broaden your niche. So it's like, say you're doing an I do Marvel Comics niche. That's what I do, Marvel Comics. And it's like you put in there, and then the Marvel Comics audience, the people who have that, who watch Marvel Comics, they love your video. Well, then YouTube will go, okay, well, let's see if DC Comics people love it too. Let's see. And if that does great there, though, let's see if independent comics people. And then if it does great there, they'll go like, well, let's broaden outside and see if video game people like it. Oh, it'll be video game people. Let's see if movie people like. It's like it just. I'm using really dumb categories, but it'll broaden how many people it boosts your content to, as long as those people continue clicking at it at a high rate. And when they reach the perimeters of like they start showing it to people who watch cooking videos, and then it just they'll broaden out with related fields or related audiences as far as it'll go. And then if it stops, then, and they've already milked the audience for the existing people they've showed it to, then they'll just stop boosting it, and that's when it kind of goes down. That's the way YouTube's algorithm used to work, and it was something you could tailor to. I don't know what the hell they're doing now. Their new algorithm is like, first of all, yeah, they don't care about your sub count. They don't show it to your. I don't want to look. Nobody cares about this stuff unless you're actually a YouTuber. So it's unimportant that I spent all that time figuring out how YouTube's algorithm works or researching it. And I didn't figure it out. I watched other people's videos on this subject. YouTube doesn't allow for organic growth. It used to. Used to be great. You could really figure out that algorithm and just freaking focus on that, make videos tailor-made, make certain length videos, because you know what the algorithm likes and wants to share. And it's like and sometimes it's like the percent. You know what? Nobody cares about this stuff. I'm going to stop talking about it. I could probably talk about this for another 20 minutes. I'm not going to. No worries, Mike. I care because I know you want to grow your channel. Well, it'd be nice to be able to just reach more people and reconstruct their faith from the fallen. I just want to do what I want, and if people want to hang out, they show up and chat. That's what I do. Afternoon, King Bob. Wait, wasn't King Bob here already? Oh, Melissa, you're new. Hi, Missy. You're late. Okay, I'm late, but I'm always late. You should expect me to be late. Therefore, you should be early. That's how that works. All right. Reconstructing biblical history. This weekend, we had a wonderful, wonderful debate in the Discord. YouTube went to crap before the first apocalypse. What's up, Zeta? Hold on. I gotta move this. This is just driving me bananas. My other video arm. I'm not even using it right now because I'm not streaming on Whatnot. Oh, by the way. Things seem to be coming back. I feel like I've closed a chapter and a brand new chapter is opened and it's full of good stuff. So seasons, I think the Bible calls it seasons. And I know I don't talk about some stuff in my life. Because some of you may know, if I show any signs of weakness about anything, there's a certain individual who will make countless hours of live stream mocking and deriding any weakness that I show. So I cannot. But that season is over, and I feel like a lot of stuff is just opening up out of the blue, and I'm like, wow, this is chapter 54 is about to start. It's my birthday in 2 weeks. Chapter 54 is going to start here, and it's going to be a good one. Justin is here. I also ask that everyone acknowledges and affirms my new name, Justin the Unicornus. Welcome, Justin the Unicornus. I approve. No one expects the Mike Inquisition. All right. Happy early birthday. Thank you very much. Yay. Happy. Side eye, knowing who we're talking about. Unicornus! That is correct. So, here's the funny thing. So, objective ethics, he's in the chat. This is like a side debate. Brings up the unicorn in a mocking manner, making a joke about it or something like that. I can't remember. And then I am like, flabbergasted. I just don't understand. I lay out the argument that the unicorn in the Bible is a rhinoceros. Now, it's the one horn. We have the one horn. We have different types of one horn rhinos. We have the Siberian woolly rhino, which does not look like the African one-horn rhino at all. Right? It's the same base, but it's got a totally different body kit on it. And so what obviously the unicorn Marco Polo described in the 12th century is the Siberian woolly rhino. There's no way that thing was extinct 40,000 years ago. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, and we have evidence that Marco Polo saw one because he described it to a freaking T, to the letter. What Marco Polo wrote as the description of a unicorn is exactly the Siberian woolly rhino. So they were still around. By this point, obviously, they're hunted to extinction, but by that point, they were still around. I don't know how rare they were, whatever. But that's what the rhino is. That's what the unicorn is. The mythical version, the horse with the spiral horn thing, that is a much later interpolation of a unicorn than the book of Job, which is the oldest book in the Bible, right? And the book of Job, what it's describing is a huge, powerful, unbridleable beast. Not a horse with a freaking thing on its head. Horses are bridleable. Everyone knows you can put a bridle on a horse. It's what we do. So it's obviously the unicorn in the Bible is the rhino, one version of the rhino or another. Rhinos don't roam Israel right now, but we've got lots of remains, bones, fossils, whatever. Rhinos were in Israel at some point, and I'm just going to go ahead and say they are around much later than zoology would want to claim. But same thing with Marco Polo, right? 40,000 years ago, 12th century. Marco Polo saw one. Obviously, they were still there in the 12th century. Anarchist says, it's a brush-tailed possum, and they have been getting into my house. Australia has 26 separate species of possum, and none of them are like the American one. Yeah, it makes you wonder why they named them the same, huh? Aren't the possums in Australia, like, pretty? They look like irradiated giant rats. It's weird, the difference. I just found out about the Sumatran rhino. Get out of town. So anyways, Objective Ethics, our stalwart agnostic in the chat, in the Discord, says, oh, now that you've explained it, okay, the unicorn is a rhino. Buddy Rabbit, Buddy still won't acknowledge that the unicorn is the rhinoceros, and it just boggles my mind. The agnostic is more reasonable than the Calvinist. Also, Buddy has no sense of humor. Buddy, I love you, Buddy, but man, no sense of humor. He got all mad because during this conversation, when he's rejecting the fact that the unicorn is a rhino, I posted a picture of a rhino defecating, and he got all butthurt. No pun intended. But I'm sorry, man. You need rhino skin in the Discord. That's what I'm saying. Buddy is a Calvinist. He doesn't believe God ordained the rhino to be referred to as a unicorn. But I did. Therefore, God did ordain it. The brush-tailed possum at my place through the window screen and read my kitchen. They are really bold and determined. It sounds more like a raccoon, right? I want to see. Oh, chewed through your fly. Whoa! I want to see, what's a brush-tailed possum look like? Brush-tailed possum. Images. Oh, that looks more like a what are those things called? What are those little marsupials called? I actually did an NFT project using this creature. But look at that face. That does not look like a possum. Oh, that thing is cute. Oh, what are those things called? They're little, like, they're not monkey. Marmoset? Not a marmoset. Kinkajou? Kinkajou. What are those things called with the big eyes? You know what I'm talking about? Sugar glider? Is that what it is? No. I mean that might be another name for it. Virginia possum. Is this what your brush tail looks like? Lemur. Yeah, it looks like a lemur. Right? Let's look up lemurs. No, not a lemur. Not a lemur. Dang it. Amy, you messed me up. Not a lemur. I think maybe it starts with an L, though. Let's see. Bug-eyed marsupial. An AA? No. These! Tarsiers. These little freaking weirdos. Loris. These guys. Like from Madagascar. Right? Looks more like that than like an American possum. No? Am I right? Am I wrong? I could be wrong. Whatever. Now this is really off topic now. The topic is reconstructing biblical history. So, objective ethics comes into the Discord with a great bold statement that the Bible has historical errors. Now, I did want to show a few things here, if I can find them, because apparently I suck at. All right, so here's a thing. Well, first of all, let me show you this. I was not kidding. I was not kidding. 3,017 valid public watch hours. All of a sudden, I need 4,000. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now I need 4,000. And right after I cross 3,000, I need 4,000. When I cross 4,000, they're going to say I need 5,000. So I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to give up. So here we are. We have top 10 biblical archaeological discoveries of 2022. You know why it's top 10? Because usually they have 12 to 15 major discoveries that confirm, that corroborate biblical accounts every single year. Here's the one for 2022. Here's the one for 2021. There's one for 2020, 2024, 2025, 2019, 2020, 2000, 1999. If you go back far enough and you are run out of internet, you can go to the Biblical Archaeological Review magazine, and they would have the top 10 list for 1996 and 1995 and 1983 and 1978. However old that is. You know why? Because they discover new stuff every year. These are just the major ones. 12 to 15 major discoveries every year. They literally find like over 5,000 corroborating biblical discoveries in archaeology every year. So let's see, if you're saying 5,000 divided by 365, what's that? 14? No, wait, is it more than 12 to 14 corroborating archaeological discoveries a day? Right? By this math, the 25,000 discoveries argument, which I know a lot of, maybe they're just saying 25,000 major discoveries, right? That makes more sense if you've because they've been digging there since 1948, right? 1948, that's good almost 80 years now. Almost 80 years they've been digging for these things. So just say you've got a 1,600 page document. You're discovering about a dozen corroborating pieces of archaeological history every single day that corroborates the stories, the places, the names, etc., in the Bible. Follow with my train of thought here, Mozzie. Okay, follow with my train of thought here. Which means you have so much archaeological evidence that corroborates all of these tales in the Bible, that what a rational, objective, non-biased, non-cynical person would say is, since so much of this here collection of books is constantly being corroborated literally daily, very nearly hourly. It is being corroborated by archaeological evidence that perhaps, in the stories where we might not have found corroborative evidence yet, we perhaps might want to give this extraordinarily trustworthy group of documents the benefit of the freaking doubt. Is that not the rational, objective standard to put on a book, on a set of books that is literally constantly being verified, like almost hourly being verified, that everything in here is historically accurate? You might just want to give a little bit of a benefit of the doubt to the stuff that has not yet been corroborated. But no, as Mozzie says, where's the evidence for the Exodus? This is the argument, right? It's like, let's not think about how extraordinary, so extraordinary that it's like, it's not even in the realm. I can't think of any other historical document in terms of corroboration. Is there any other document in history with the level of corroboration that archaeology has given us than the Bible? Does anyone know? I sincerely doubt it. and thus, Mozzie, you answer me. Do you not think it's a little bit objective to give it the benefit of the doubt? Mozzie says, by that logic, we could give the benefit of the doubt to the Mormons since there's witnesses that have affidavits signed. Why aren't you Mormon since you don't need evidence? Well, because there's a whole lot in the Book of Mormon that talks about the Nephites and what's the other ones? The Nephites, the something or others. I don't know. There's two groups. Yes, objective ethics. We were just going through the archaeological evidence that you ignored because I kept asking you over and over and over again. I asked objective ethics this very question about giving the benefit of the doubt because it's so replete with archaeological evidence, but he never answered me. Why did you always ignore that question? Anyways, I'm on apostate right now. So there's just like the Bible, right? Like all we have in the Bible, we have archaeological evidence, just piles and piles and piles, daily discoveries, almost hourly discoveries of corroborating evidence. That's how much we have. For the Book of Mormon, we have what you call no evidence for any of their claims about Mesoamerica, the Jews coming to the Americas and populating the entire the continents of America and becoming the Native Americans, and all of these historical things that you can absolutely prove are not true. Joseph Smith literally claimed that the Native Americans were a lost tribe, were lost tribes of Israel, who left Israel during the Babylonian exile, came over to America, and then fought with steel weapons, by the way, which hadn't been invented yet. The Lamanites, thank you. With steel weapons, with smelting, right? They were smelting ore. They were doing all this wonderful stuff. And then somehow or another, all the evidence for all of those claims somehow just vanished into history. And then the Native Americans changed all their DNA from being Jews to being Asians. So, yeah, that's why I'm not a Mormon, Mozzie the Apostate, because the Book of Mormon is full of crap. The Bible is corroborated daily. Wow, the American Indians started off as Jews. Is that what he just said? That's not what I said. That's what Joseph Smith said. Why can't a Mormon employ the same tactic you're using? We just don't have the evidence yet. But you should give the Book of Mormon the benefit of the doubt, because we don't have any evidence. You understand the difference between none and more evidence than any other document in the history of the world, right? There's a slight difference on the balance scale there, right, Mozzie? You grasp that, right? Zero evidence, more evidence than you could even count. Zero, the most evidence of any document in history. Do you get the difference? Can you go with me here on the difference between zero and more than anything else? Oh, now you're shifting the goalpost. Now you're shifting the goalpost because you don't want to answer that question. I'll take that as a win. Thank you. You can't disprove the Mormon claims without science, Mike. Okay. I mean, you can disprove it with archaeology, but archaeology is a science, so there's there's just no history. There's like literally no history. You are trying to shift in the goalpost because I'm talking about archaeological evidence, and now you're talking about metaphysical supernatural claims. That's categorically different. I'm not Mormon. I know, but you're trying to make a really dumb argument. No offense, but that's a super freaking dumb argument. I'm sure you're not dumb. That's just a dumb argument. Mike, are you afraid of science? You are afraid of science or allergic to science. I can't remember what you said. I don't believe I said either of those. I don't believe I said anything even remotely close to that. I don't believe scientists are inerrable. I just made an error. Anyway, I mean, look, man, scientists are just as biased and imperfect, and that some people have this weird thing that like, oh, scientists, they're the ultimate truth seekers. They are like the priests of truth. It's like, no, they're human beings. They have faults, foibles, they have biases. If they come into a field of study with a particular worldview, they will, 99 times out of 100, use that worldview to forward their endeavors. So that's I don't elevate scientists to some like higher being. I'm trying to find the symmetry breaker. So if you appeal to evidence, then several biblical claims are falsified, such as, we just tried to do this last night. Over the weekend. This is the funny thing. Objective ethics thought he won. But by his own standards, he did not, because there's subjective and objective, and all of his claims turned out to be subjective, based not on facts, but based on the opinions of other people. That's a subjective position. Good afternoon, writer. By the way, drop the Discord link if anybody wants to go in and read the debate we had in the Discord. It was a lot of fun. We just ended up not agreeing on who won. And obviously, I'm going to take the side that I won, and everybody but Buddy Rabbit, Buddy. Where did the Israelites come from? They entered into Canaan. It wasn't from the north, the east, or the south. Would that not corroborate at least the idea of Exodus being reasonable? I don't think they have an answer for that. Apparently, to them, the Israelites just popped up in mass out of the desert sands, which to me is even more miraculous. Oh, sorry, I just woke up. Sometimes I can be dumb. That is true. I also just woke up. But I do have 1 cup of coffee in me, and I'm working in a second.
Come on.
I know you reject scientific theories when they don't match your narrative. I reject scientific theories when they don't match up with what I think is fact. And I don't rely on the theories of men, right, over the word of God. I'm not going to do that just because a theory isn't truth. And there's no... If something is based ultimately on unprovable assumptions, then you have to understand that that's an unprovable assumption. You can't tout it as a fact. Are you a young earth creationist? Do you believe in the worldwide flood or the Garden of Eden? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I destroyed you, Mike. See, it is funny because that is a very subjective opinion that no one else seems to share. And I know they're all on my side, but they're not all young earth creationists. But objectively, Mr. Objective Ethics, you did not destroy me because all of your arguments were based on subjective evidence. And you admitted that all of my explanations, this was the funniest part, he admitted that all of my explanations are plausible. That's really all you need. Because in order for something to be a contradiction, you have to prove that it is not plausible. So as soon as you said all my explanations are plausible, you made it impossible for you to win that argument. I'm not a young earth creationist. I don't believe in a worldwide flood, but I do believe in the Garden of Eden. How? I wouldn't say I'm on your side, Mike. I'm more of a round person. Yes, you do. The Bible was written by men. You just assume it was made using magic, not a very scientific approach. Again, that's not a scientific approach. It is a worldview approach. If you reject, although it's funny, you're an agnostic, but if you're really agnostic, you would have to accept that the metaphysical reality may well be true. You just don't know it. You just don't. It has to be an option. Actually, just to be objective, never mind to be an agnostic, just to be objective, metaphysical reality has to be an option. Right? You can't dismiss something out of hand just because you don't personally believe in it. Objectively, it has to be an option. What evidence do you have that Noah had access to advanced manufacturing technology to make laminated timber? Laminated timber? That is the first time I've ever heard of any lamination. And precision steel? That is the first time I've heard there was steel in the making of the ark, to make an ark that could withstand the forces of the flood. I mean, first of all, it took Noah 120 years to build the ark, I believe. The processes by which he made it, he did not need to laminate any. Are you just making stuff up? Because it sounds like you're just making stuff up. He did not have to laminate timber, and nor did he have to have steel. And the forces of the flood, I mean, it's a giant boat. It's a giant boat, and they've built it, and they've done studies of it. I mean, I've seen videos. I don't need to go into it. I'm trying to remember because I saw a video of them actually rebuilding or building a model of the ark, and then, except for, I'm just trying to think. That's not really gonna. A tiny little model like that isn't gonna be equivalent to the structures and the stress. But I think he could make it with the tools that he had. Hell, we don't know how they built the pyramids. So people in the past have built things that are inexplicable by modern technology. And so considering Noah was chosen by God and guided by God, I would suggest that he could make something. I mean, we can make it today. You don't even need, like, it's not like building the pyramids, right? It's building a giant ark. It's building a giant boat. I am honest, unlike Christians. Wow, ethics? No. You really going to go down that road, dude? I know they were plausible, but far less likely than my claims. I totally disagree. It was more than likely. It was highly likely that your claims were false. Your claims were in error because it was standard practice, not an unlikely claim. You have no reason to doubt. And again, you won't answer the question. Why? When we have corroboration on a level unmatched by any other ancient document. Again, we discover nearly a dozen corroborating archaeological finds a day. I know you weren't here for this, but I just did a freaking breakdown on it. We find so much, and only like 12 to 15 of them a year are significant and new and like stuff that moves the needle, like finding James's ossuary box or finding Pontius Pilate's nameplate or whatever. But we find literally like a dozen freaking pieces of archaeological corroborating evidence every single day. Every single day. That's like every 2 hours they're finding something else that corroborates the Bible. So being that we have this much evidence corroborating the Bible constantly, like literally almost nonstop. Why are you unwilling to give the benefit of the doubt to something that you may even deem as unlikely, but the Bible has proven? Why do I have this on my screen? The Bible proves itself, or archaeology rather, proves the Bible, corroborates the Bible so often, so regularly, you probably couldn't take a nap and they wouldn't find something else that corroborates the Bible. But you still won't give an ounce of the benefit of the doubt to the claim that is just uncorroborated. And then you're hanging your whole argument on this ridiculous claim. Because it is likely. It's highly likely. It's just uncorroborated. But you think it's not because it's not corroborated, then it's far less likely than my claim. No, that's absolute hogwash, dude. Hogwash. I'm an architect. There's no way to fabricate structures using timber and Bronze Age tech that could structurally support elephants. How did he do it? Well, it's not Bronze Age tech. It's pre-flood tech. Okay, go with me here. I know you don't believe this stuff, but go with me. Adam, this is let's just call it the myth, since you don't believe me. Follow the storyline. Adam, created in the perfect image and likeness of God. What are the chances Adam was the smartest freaking guy ever born or ever created?
He's gonna freeze.
I would say 100%. The chances that the guy who's created in the image and likeness of God was the smartest guy ever is 100%. The IQ goes down probably as you start introducing genetic errors into the code, right? To the point you get to where we are now, we're significantly dumber than Adam would have been. In between Adam and you, we have a guy named Noah. Probably dumber than Adam. Hell of a lot smarter than you, Mr. Architect. So I think that prior to the flood, they knew how to do things a little bit better than we did. Even after the flood. The guys back then, smarter than you. They could figure out how to build the pyramids. Do you know what tools they used? Do you know how they got those perfect laser guided? Oh my gosh, I just saw. Oh, I wish I'd have saved it. In, I think it's the British Museum. They have is it a sarcophagus? It's a big square block of granite. It's perfectly cut. It's like a box. It's like a box made out of granite. It's perfectly cut. Perfect angles, perfect lines, perfect cut into the granite. Now, you could explain that and say, oh, well, they got in there and chiseled and then flattened it somehow. Blah, 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 blah. On the back side, I really should have freaking saved this. On the back side of that,
what was she looking at?
There's a slice
Yeah.
into, and part of it's broken off. But it's like whatever they were using to get those perfect flat cuts, that perfect flat cut, they, for some reason, stopped 3/4 of the way through the cut.
No.
Right? And like part of that broke off, but you still have like the halfway point, and then to the 3/4 point, it's cut into the granite. Like with a diamond tipped saw or a high pressure water, you know how they use those high pressure water things to cut something. They had some freaking technology that made a perfect laser line cut. Now you're going to say, there's no way to fabricate structures using timber and Bronze Age tech. You don't know what tech they had. You don't know what tech they had to build the pyramids. I guarantee you don't know what tech Moses had to build the ark. Mike, are you a superhero? You tie yourself in pretzels like Plastic Man defending you. It's cute that you think so. It's amazing how people today think people back then were dumber than us. I know. Sup, Tanner? What's up without lies? Yes, you are indeed late, but that's okay. I was late too, so you're only half as late as you could have been. Mosey, it can't work on a global flood or any flood. I know, right? Mike, you're like the Hulk, green with envy at my amazing ability to defend my claims with evidence. I do better because the Bible's claims can be defended with logic. Your logic is where you fail, ethics. Totally got sidetracked and forgot to post the Discord link till now. A bad mod. Yes. Okay, you're just comparing me to a bunch of your silly arguments bounce off my chest like bullers. To be frank, Mike, Adam couldn't be that smart. You know, the fall. Well, Satan fell. He's smarter than Adam. Is he smarter than Adam? I don't know. He's a direct creation of God, too. It's an interesting thing to think about. Citation needed for these claims of intelligence, and this still doesn't answer my question. I actually, by the time I got to the end of that rant, I absolutely did answer your question. No, they were a baby elephants. That's true. Yeah. Why would you bring a full-grown elephant or T-Rex or Brachiosaurus onto the ark?
You said you wanted to hunt there, right?
Why would you bring full-grown anything onto the ark?
Is he leveled up?
You bring youngsters, adolescents maybe, and then just let them grow up after the fact and breed. And even if they were adults, this guy's point still way smarter than us. Yep. All you need to do is provide a piece of evidence that verifies your claim is true, not just a possibility. If you close one eye and squint really hard.
Yeah, try to get him to level 13.
You know that cultural norms, which were written right on all those lovely cuneiform tablets and steels and all that kind of stuff that you're so determined to use as evidence, cultural norms were written on those too, right? The records of this type of behavior being not just a cultural norm, but expected if you are taking over for another royal family, that exists is evidence that this would be an expected cultural norm. You don't need someone writing this thing happened for it to be a cultural norm. And if it is the cultural norm, what you need is this thing didn't happen here. It was weird to be the exception to the cultural norm. You understand where your logic fails in this argument? It's not a narrative. It is the expected cultural norm. All animals on the boat were babies. Yeah, I could have made a much smaller boat.
Come on, you can't be that.
And
bad.
can also go into state of hibernation, which is what they did on the boat. Possibly. I don't know. I don't think the Bible says that, but it's possible. They had to be young or else they would have no chance to have made it. Yeah, you don't want them mating. That's actually a good point. You don't want them mating like on the boat. Like, why is the boat heavier now? There's evidence of overcuts on some of the stone they have there. Something you didn't get with standard and tools. Yeah, I wish I could find that. It's in the British net. Gosh, where did I see it?
I think we're gonna get Jason.
I must have shared it to somebody. Let me check my Instagram and see if that's where I saw it. Real quick, because I tend to share stuff like that with my friends on Instagram. Micah?
It's like a job.
I did not share it to Micah. Daniel?
With their
Nope.
retarded.
Elliot? Nope. Dang, I don't think I shared this to anybody.
It was like something in
If I ever see it again, I will bookmark it. Because, yeah, we don't even know how they built the freaking. Never mind. Never mind the pyramids themselves. We don't know how they did that. Have you seen? This is another thing. I wish I could bring this up. I should probably try to find it. Maybe I'll try to find it and put it in the Discord. Have you seen the megalithic
Whoa.
stones
No.
like
Whoa.
cut out but left in the quarry? Right? They're cut out and you could see where they're cut out. You just can't comprehend how they cut them out because they're cut like underneath. Like they cut out underneath. They just left them there. They never made it from the stone site to the thing, but they cut out underneath this 70, 100 ton megalithic stone. How do you just cut underneath the stone like that all the way across on the bottom? By the way, in the freaking whatever the copper age, the good old copper age, in the Bronze Age or earlier, freaking Neolithic man cutting out where's the tools these guys got? This is why some people believe in aliens, right? Because it's like, I don't want to believe in God or that mankind was far more intelligent thousands of years ago than we are now. I believe aliens did that stuff with alien technology. I don't know. I don't have the answer. You don't have the answer. Nobody has the answer. It's the sort of thing that should just sit there and make you think, You think Noah could have built a boat? Yeah, Noah could build a friggin' boat. Genius. The condescension atheists have is crazy, lol. They attack straw mans based on their own misunderstanding of history and science. You can have all knowledge and no isn't. That's true. Walk with Spirit. Even grown, the ark was huge and could fit them. True. Just read the Bible and you could tell that people of old were not as intelligent as modern humans. They simply knew less. Ignorance and intelligence aren't the same. Brooklyn, do you know what intelligence is? You can be highly, highly intelligent and still be ignorant about stuff, subjects. Book knowledge does not make you more intelligent. This is like the misnomer of like, you should go to college so you can get smarter. You're not going to get smarter. You may learn more stuff, but how smart you are is not based on how much stuff you've learned. How smart you are, your IQ, your ability to understand patterns, to understand logic and reason and see. That is innate. That is genetic. When you debunk an atheist claim, you're not answering my question with no evidence. No evidence, because they don't like the evidence. All right. Ingenuity is something ancient architects had in spades over modern, proven by how we're still learning the ways the Greeks and Romans made concrete. Self-healing. Oh, that's right. Self-healing concrete. It's interesting. Mazzy says, you're asserting the ark was a feasible structure. Doesn't tell me how the ark was fabricated before some of the technology was invented. How did Noah do it? Okay, you get back to me with how they cut those granite stones, and I'll get back to you with how Moses built the ark. Or how Noah built the ark. Okay? That's an equivalent challenge, right? You go figure out how they sliced a 100-ton block of granite underneath it in the Bronze Age. I'll get back to you with how a pre-flood world understood and what technology they had. How's that sound? What I'm pointing out is your hypocrisy, because you know we don't know the one, and then you're damning me if I don't know the answer for the other. It's hypocrisy, Mozzie. Lou, no, they were highly intelligent. The SpongeBob generations of the modern era can't start a freaking fire to save themselves. This modern generation can't tell if having a penis makes you a male. We are, in fact, getting dumber. You cannot get away with saying something so retarded about any historical figure like Alexander the Great and say he does not exist. The only documents existed hundreds of years after, but you can still... All right. It's only 40 days. LOL. What's only 40 days? The rain was only 40 days. What? An architect would build a boat that could support giant elephants. An engineer would bring baby elephants. It's true. You want to hear my dad's engineer joke? So a rabbi, a priest, and an engineer go golfing, and they get about to the 9th hole and they get stopped because there's a crowd of people on the 10th hole, and they're looking, and they're just swinging randomly and not hitting balls, and just like it looks like they have no idea what they're doing. And so the priest asks the guy, hey, what's going on here? And they said, oh, well, the owners of the course, they like to, they allow the school for the blind to come use their golf course on the third Wednesday of each month. And so this is their time, and they get to go play, and they get it for free, and they just love what they're doing, and it's just a great time, and it's just really such a wonderful thing. And the priest goes, "Oh, praise Jesus! That's such a wonderful thing for them to happen." And then the rabbi says, "Oy vey, what a mishnah! What a mishnah!" The owner blesses these people with. And the engineer goes, "Can't they play at night?" All right. Maybe the plan to repopulate. I think. Oh gosh, we're over an hour.
So
I can end this
right here.
on my dad's joke. If you got continuing arguments, join the Discord. Get on in there and just do your thing. It was a whole lot of fun. I had time on Sunday to actually get in there and go back and forth, but I'll try to get in there and make a little bit of time today. Otherwise, I am pretty darn busy. So thanks everybody for being here. This is a 1 hour show. If you want to be here and argue with me, get here on time next time. So God bless you all. We'll see you on the next exciting episode of Cross Examinations.